Sheldon directed us to the fabrication room where 3 suits were laid out on a table. The proportions of each one left no doubt about whose was whose. I looked at my suit, which resembled a set of zippered overalls with a weird collar and built-in gloves and boots. A surprisingly small backpack probably provided environmental support. "This is it?" I held up the item. "I'm not feeling confident."
"I am devastated," Sheldon said. "Do you want to go out or not?"
I hesitated, then looked at Nat. She shrugged and started to don the suit, stepping in through the zippered front. After a moment, Patrick did the same. I finally surrendered to peer pressure and climbed into my suit. The zipper had a button at the bottom instead of a zipper tab. I pressed it experimentally, and the suit closed from the crotch upwards in one smooth motion, somehow avoiding entangling my clothing in the process. "Where's the helmet?" Patrick said.
"Press the button on your right collarbone area."
We all reached up and followed Sheldon's instruction. As I pressed the button, the suit kind of sucked in around me like I was being vacuum-packed. At the same time, the collar unfurled around my head, becoming a goldfish bowl helmet. I poked it with a finger. It seemed rigid, but like hard leather rather than glass. Patrick struck a pose, one arm out, pointing dramatically. "To the airlocks!" "Should we all go at once?" Nat asked. "Sheldon?"
"What would someone remaining in the ship be able to do that I couldn't do? For Covenant species, this is as routine as driving a car. Just try to avoid tripping over your own feet and impaling yourself on a rock."
The 3 of us exchanged a look. Nothing more needed to be said. We would be the first humans to set foot on Mars. Nothing was going to stop us. The airlock system operated exactly as I'd expected, and within minutes I was at the bottom of the staircase staring at ochre-colored sandy soil. "What's the holdup?" Patrick's voice said over what had to be a suit radio. It couldn't possibly have carried through suits and the thin Martian air, but it sounded as clear as if he were in a room with me. "I feel like I should say something profound," I replied. "But I got nothing." "One small step," Patrick said. "To boldly go," Nat added. "Space the final frontier," Patrick replied.
"I'm beginning to envy Alaric," Sheldon's voice interjected. "Do I have to tilt the ship to shake you off?"
I chuckled. "All right, Sheldon, chill." I thought for a moment, then straightened my back. "As for me, I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts. And with that, I stepped off onto the surface of Mars." "Nice choice," Nat said, as she and Patrick followed me. Patrick kicked at the soil under his feet. "It feels like dirt. Dry, not quite sand, but just basically dirt." "What were you expecting?" Nat replied. "Styrofoam beads?" Patrick ignored her. "You could have done something for Burroughs, a John Carter quote." "Couldn't remember any," I replied. "Look," Nat said. We both followed her pointing finger. Sheldon had landed in the Mariner Valley at Patrick's request. We were close enough to one wall of the valley to see it rising to the sky in the distance. In the thin atmosphere of Mars, it was amazingly clear, so it appeared quite close. At the same time, it obviously rose from beyond the horizon, so it had to be far away. But on the third hand, Mars's small diameter— I shook my head, breaking the loop. I was on Mars. This wasn't the time to go down a mental rabbit hole. "That's incredible," Nat said. "I wish we could take pictures." "Sure, I'll just whip out my phone," Patrick said. Nat gave him a glare that should have stopped his heart. I spoke quickly to diffuse the tension. "Do we want to go for a walk, or have you guys had enough?" Patrick looked around. "If we had a flag to plant or a base station to set up, or even some golf balls and a club, I'd stay all day. But other than the view, it's really just a lot of dirt. We can come back, though, right?" I nodded, but felt a momentary disquiet. First the Apollo 11 site. Now this. Was space travel going to be just a series of letdowns? Then I turned back to the view. No. Definitely not. We just needed enough time to appreciate it.